costs less than $2. Right now, your house is using electricity. Even if everything is turned off, lights off, TV off, no one in the room, still, power is being pulled, quietly, constantly, and you're paying for it. Not once, not occasionally, every second, every minute, every hour of every day. This is called phantom power, and once you see it, you can't unsee it, because it's everywhere, not just in one device, not just in one room, but across your entire home, your TV, your microwave, your phone charger, your coffee machine, your gaming console, your Wi-Fi router, even the things you don't think about, anything with a light, anything with a clock, anything that responds instantly. It's never truly off. It's waiting, always waiting, and that waiting costs you money, more than you think. Now, here's the part most people completely miss. Phantom power doesn't feel real because you can't see it, you can't hear it, you don't notice it happening. There's no sound, no movement, no warning, just silent consumption. And that's exactly why it works so well, because you ignore what you don't notice, and you pay for what you ignore. Now, years ago, this wasn't a big deal. Homes were simpler, fewer devices, less technology. Things had one state, on or off. That was it. But today, that's changed. Now everything is designed to stay ready. Your TV doesn't turn off, it sleeps. Your console doesn't shut down, it waits. Your appliances don't disconnect. They stay alert because convenience sells. Instant access, instant access, instant activation. But that convenience comes at a cost, a hidden cost. Because every second something is ready, it's consuming energy. Small amounts, tiny numbers, numbers that don't seem important on their own. But here's where it becomes a problem. Those tiny numbers never stop. They don't pause. They don't take breaks. They run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now think about that. Even when you're asleep, even when you're at work, even when you're on vacation, your house is still pulling power. Devices you're not using, still costing you money. Now multiply that across your entire home. 5 devices, 10 devices, 20 devices, each one pulling just a little. And suddenly, it's not little anymore. It's a constant drain, a silent leak, the kind that doesn't flood your house overnight, but slowly raises your bill, month after month, until one day, you look at your electricity bill and think, why is this so high? And you can't explain it, because nothing changed. Same habits, same routine, same usage. But there's a difference, a hidden one. Now here's where things get interesting, because there's a simple set-it that can stop this completely, not reduce it, not manage it, stop it, instantly. And it costs less than $2. No tools, no rewiring, no electrician, no complicated installation, just a simple change in how power reaches your devices. But almost no one talks about it. And there's a reason for that, because it doesn't benefit the system. The more electricity you use, the more you pay. Simple. So solutions that reduce usage quietly stay in the background. Instead, you're told to upgrade everything, buy new appliances, buy efficient models, spend hundreds to save small amounts. But no one points out the obvious. The leak is already happening inside your home, right now. Now, to understand this solution, you need to understand the real problem, because the device itself isn't actually the issue. The connection is. Power is always available, uninterrupted, unlimited, so the device keeps taking it, even when it doesn't need it, because nothing is stopping it. Now imagine this differently. Imagine leaving a tap slightly open, not enough to notice, not enough to flood anything, but just enough to drip, slowly, constantly. You might ignore it at first, but over time, that water adds up. That's phantom power, a slow drip of electricity. Now here's the key idea. What if instead of fixing the device, you controlled the tap? That's exactly what this setup does. It doesn't change the device, it changes the flow. It cuts power when the device isn't in use, completely. Not standby, not sleep mode, off. True zero draw. And the moment you need it again, power returns. Instantly, seamlessly, without effort. Now here's why this matters. Because it removes the human factor. You don't have to remember anything. No unplugging, no switching off multiple buttons, no extra effort. It works automatically, in the background, like a gate, only allowing electricity through when it's actually needed. Now picture your entertainment setup. TV, console, speakers, all sitting there, doing nothing, but still consuming power, all day, all night. Now imagine that entire system, drawing zero power until you turn it on. Then everything activates at once. And when you turn it off, everything shuts down completely. No waste, no drain. Now take that idea and apply it to your entire home. Kitchen devices, office equipment, chargers, accessories, everything. And suddenly, the silent drain disappears. Now within a few days, you notice something. Your bill changes, not dramatically overnight, but steadily, predictably, because the waste is gone. Now here's something most people overlook. Phantom power isn't just about money, it's about load. Your electrical system is always under pressure, always active, always carrying small currents, which creates heat, which creates wear, which reduces lifespan. So when you remove that constant load, you're not just saving money, you're protecting your devices, extending their life, reducing failures, reducing replacements. Now, think about older systems. They lasted longer. Why? Because they truly turned off. No standby, no constant draw, just off. But modern convenience changed that. Instant on became the standard, and efficiency quietly took a back seat. Now here's how this under $2 setup works. It's based on a simple principle: master control. One device controls the power of others. When the main device turns off, everything connected to it loses power completely. No standby, no phantom draw, nothing. And when it turns on again, power flows back instantly. Simple, but powerful, because it targets the real issue. Now imagine setting this up once and never thinking about phantom power again. No monitoring, no checking, no effort, just automatic control, working silently every single day. Now ask yourself this right now. How many devices are plugged in that you're not using? Look around, count them. Each one pulling power, waiting, costing you money. Individually small, but together, significant. That's the hidden drain. Invisible, silent, but always there until you stop it. And once you do, you gain something most people don't have. Control. Control over your energy. Control over your costs. Control over your home. Because the truth is simple. You're not just paying for what you use. You're paying for what stays connected. And that is the difference between consumption and waste. This setup removes the waste completely. And once it's gone, everything becomes efficient again, the way it should have been. So the next time your bill feels too high, don't just look at what you used. Look at what never turned off, because that's where the real loss is. And fixing it is easier than you think. Much easier. Because once you understand this, you start seeing it everywhere. Not just in your home, but in every space you walk into. Offices, shops, waiting rooms, devices sitting idle, lights glowing, screens dark, but not dead, systems off, but still alive, still consuming. And suddenly, you realize something. This isn't just your problem. It's a global habit, a design choice, a system built around convenience, not efficiency. Now think about how often you leave a charger plugged in, even when your phone isn't connected. That small adapter, still pulling power, still converting energy, still wasting a little every second. And it feels harmless because it's small, but multiply that by millions of homes, millions of chargers, and suddenly that small becomes massive. Now zoom back into your home again, because this is where it matters most. Walk into your living room, look at your TV. Even when it's off, there's a light, a tiny indicator. That light is a signal, not just to you, but to the system inside. I'm ready. And staying ready costs energy. Now look at your router, always on, always active. Even when no one is using the internet, still running, still drawing power. Now your kitchen, microwave clock glowing, coffee machine idle, appliances waiting, each one using just a little. Now your bedroom, chargers plugged in, adapters warm, devices sitting still, but not disconnected. And when you step back, you start to see the full picture. This isn't one leak, it's dozens of tiny leaks, all happening at the same time. Now imagine a bucket with multiple small holes, each one dripping slowly. Individually, they don't seem like a problem, but together, they empty the bucket. That's your electricity bill. Now here's where most people go wrong. They try to fix this with discipline. I'll unplug things. I'll remember to switch off. But that doesn't last, because habits fade, convenience wins, and slowly, everything goes back to how it was. That's why this setup works differently. It removes the need for discipline. It replaces effort with automation, because systems beat habits every time. Now imagine walking into your home and knowing that nothing is wasting power unnecessarily. Not because you checked, not because you remembered, but because the system handles it automatically, silently. Now here's another layer most people don't consider. Standby power isn't just wasteful, it creates background noise in your electrical system. Tiny fluctuations, constant activity, which over time affects efficiency, affects stability, and adds complexity where it's not needed. So removing phantom power doesn't just clean up your bill, it simplifies your entire system. Now think about this from a long-term perspective. Years, not days, not months. If a small amount of power is being wasted every second for years, that becomes a large cost. A cost you never noticed, a cost you never questioned, because it was hidden. Now flip that idea. What if that waste was removed? For years, now you're not just saving small amounts, you're preventing long-term loss. Consistently, quietly. Now here's something else. Once you set this up, you become more aware. You start noticing inefficiencies, not just in electricity, but everywhere. Because awareness changes behavior. But the key difference is this. You're not relying on behavior anymore. You've already fixed the core issue. Now everything else becomes a bonus. Now let's go back to that simple idea again. Control, not over the device, but over the flow. Because energy itself is not the problem. Uncontrolled flow is. And once you control the flow, everything changes. Now imagine explaining this to someone else. They'll probably say, it can't be that simple. But it is, because most real problems have simple solutions. They're just not obvious or not widely shared. Now think about how many times you've upgraded something, hoping to save money. A new appliance, a smart Devi,